What's going on, everybody? It is your boy aka MW3 here, coming to you guys with some nice little gameplay in the background. Now I do have an actual topic to talk about today, and that is the first time I dated somebody. Yes, this was a long time ago. If some of you guys may have heard this story a long time ago on my other channel, which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore because now we have to deal with a world full of 12-year-old hackers who think they're all that. But anyways, guys, before we get into this little commentary, I want to talk a little bit about the gameplay. The gameplay you guys are going to be watching in the background is indeed some MW3 on PC. Now, let me disclose a few things. If you look on the screen, you see a ton of crazy stuff going on. You see Console BP, check us out, Black Pulse. That is one of the servers that I run. This is actually a modded version of Modern Warfare 3 on PC. Some of you guys may have known about it. It was known as 4 Delta 1 on PC, which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore due to freaking Activision, which wants to take everything else down that's not theirs. But regardless of that, it's a double MOAB on PC, so I hope you guys do enjoy it. The score goes up pretty much infinitely. It lasts for 15 minutes, I believe, 15 or 20 minutes, so the score just goes infinitely until, you know, that those 15 minutes are up. And if you guys have noticed, I'm using the scrub FMG9 Akimbos. You know, gotta use the scrubby stuff because everybody else is using it nowadays. All the kids are doing it. But regardless, let's get into the topic of the day. Now, oh my goodness, get drop shotted. You should just uninstall your game. I can't say sell your game because obviously you can't sell games on PC. But let's take a moment, wind your clocks back by about 8 or 7 years. 8 years tops. Now we're talking about, this is when I was 14 years old. We're talking about like when I didn't even know what a girl was at the time. You know, I wasn't really caring about any of that stuff. But let's take the clock, wind it back those amount of years. So there was this camp that I went to a couple years ago. I still go to it till this day. I run a staff now, but it was known as New Heights Camp, and it was a church camp, but you know, they also incorporated tons of different activities that children could do. And I met this girl there. Her name was Trisha. Right, so Trisha, abbreviated for Patricia, obviously. And I'm not gonna lie, she had good looks. She had really good looks, but you know, I wasn't into girls at the time. I was still that little nerd who sat inside his mom's basement playing video games all day. Yes, I am still one of those people, practically over 20 years old and still playing video games sitting in his mom's basement, but I'm proud of it. So during the camp, we had this little activity on the last day of camp, which was Friday, or technically Saturday, but Friday was the last full day of camp, and we had this activity called the dance. Now, the dance was all about the girls. I'm not even kidding. It was literally all about the girls. You would have guys sitting in their tents talking about stuff like, "Hey, yo, who you taking to the dance? Dude, you taking to that girl? Yo, that girl's hot. You gotta take her to the dance? Yo, if you don't take her to the dance, you're not gonna have a date, man. I ain't gonna talk to you no more." That's literally how it was at this camp. I kid you not. If you didn't have a date, you would be like the outcast of that camp. And sad to say, you'd have the adults try to comfort you whenever you didn't have a date. But still, it was pretty much you either go to the date or go with a date or don't go at all. So this girl, I took someone else there. Oh, get drop shot it. I actually took someone else to the dance. She never really asked me. And look at this dude no scoping. Man, we got this dude FaZe wannabe, FaZe Loverboy 69 over. Look at your name and then try to come talk to me again. Whatever. But we had this little thing where, you know, you had to take somebody to dance. You didn't have to, but I chose to take somebody. I actually asked somebody else, and she wasn't even remotely attractive. I'm not even kidding. She wasn't even remotely attractive. I just did it because I had to, all right? I figured I can't go alone, so she was the only girl that didn't have a date, so I did it. I asked her out instead. Now, she actually went to go get some drinks or whatever. I could tell she wasn't having a good time at the dance because I certainly wasn't having a good time at the dance, right? So this girl, Trisha, right? She had nice hair. I will not lie. She had nice hair. She had a nice face, pretty face and whatnot, nice body. And then the slow song comes on. Yes, that's right, the slow song that makes you die inside, making you feel like you have to dance with your girl, because you know if you don't do it, you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life, and that's gonna sit in your brain, and you're gonna remember why the heck you didn't dance with that girl, right? So this wasn't any ordinary dance. It was basically a dance where you dance with your first girl, and then when the song stops, you gotta find someone else to dance with real quick. It was pretty fun, really nice to, you know, meet other girls and stuff like that. And you know, the girls had to do it. They couldn't avoid it because, you know, if they didn't do it, the adults would get on their butts wondering why the heck they didn't dance with anybody. But so I figured, all right, who am I gonna dance with next, right? So I did the first 30 seconds with the first girl that I took out, right? Next thing you know, I see Trisha, yes, Trisha, sitting on the sideline, staring at me with those googly eyes, and what do you know? What do you think I did? Of course, I asked her to dance with me. Now, you know that moment when you feel like you're dancing with a girl for an eternity, even though it's really only 30 seconds? Yes, it felt like a freaking eternity when I was dancing with her. And you know, this was actually like the first time I actually like held a girl by the waist, actually when I was 14, and it felt so weird. Like, I could tell she wanted something. She was asking for something because the way she was looking at me while she was dancing. You know, that side, you know that, I know you guys do this. Don't tell me that you haven't done it before. That little moment when you're dancing with a girl and you're not even looking at her, you're kind of like looking to the side, just like while you're dancing. Don't lie, you guys have done it before. Don't try to hide it. Put it in the comments box. I know you've done it before. So I'm over here looking at the ground. She's looking at me, like directly in my eyes. Like she's ready to take me out to dinner or something like that. And I could tell that's what she wanted because of the way she was looking at me. So at this point, I'm about ready to sit down and grab a drink and, you know, pretty much just get this night over with and go to bed, because I was practically done already with the fact that I was dancing with this girl, right? So she starts talking, and this is the part where I am so ready to leave. Like, I am about ready to just straight up drop the date and just walk out of the building. But obviously I can't do that because the adults are outside. They keep the kids inside because obviously it's a camp and it's inside the woods in the middle of the night, and you know, they don't want kids outside. So that's understandable. But I'm about ready to just walk out the door the minute she starts talking. And let me tell you what she tells me. So what's your name? Now, I know I'm horrible when it comes to impersonations, but that's what she started talking like. And then she starts asking me more questions. You know, would you mind coming outside with me? No, I do not want to go outside with you. All right, I want to get away from as far away from her as possible, just because of the fact that she's talking to me. I'm flipping out. And this, like I said, I wasn't into girls at the time. So after she was done making googly eyes in my face for practically the entire night, she actually gives me her number when camp is over and we're about to leave. And given she lives in New York, I live in Jersey, I am not going to travel 50 miles to go visit her just to ask her out. And then she starts desperately texting my number. Yes, desperately texting my number. She texted me literally 30 times. I still have the messages saved on my phone from when she was texting me to death. And she kept texting me. She's like, Evan, I need to talk to you. Evan, I need to talk to you. This is important. I gotta tell you something. And then she says the infamous words that come out of any girl's mouth that you do not want to hear. And I kid you not. These are the 3 words that you do not want to hear from any girl in any relationship. Well, it depends. If you actually love the woman, then yeah, that depends. But she comes out and tells me, I love you. At this point, I am flipping out. You have no idea. The minute I hear those 3 words out of that girl's mouth, or not out of that mouth, out of the cell phone, I flip out. I didn't even tell my parents about this one, all right? Because I was freaking out. I didn't even know what to say. So after that, I told her, I was like, all right, yeah, I find you pretty attractive and whatnot and whatever. So we go out for like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, all right? And this is the scary part. This is the really scary part where you're gonna freak out and wonder why would you ever associate yourself with this woman. She sends me a letter, right? She sends me a letter, not an email, not a text message, an actual letter. And guess what that letter says? It was a 3-page letter. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because I don't remember it. But she sends me this 3-page letter, and this is what it says. You know, I'm so glad that we met. I already pronounced myself Mrs. AKA Mans 12. Now, I'm only saying AKA Mans 12 because I'm not disclosing my last name. But that's what she said. She's already practically predicting that we're going to get married. I'm like, what is running through this woman's head right now, right? And then she already comes up with names for our children. I'm not even going to say what she came up with, but she comes up with names for our children. Like, she's already predicting this is going to happen. And at this point, I'm like, I got to leave this woman. I got to get out of this before this gets out of hand. So I told my parents about it. I showed my parents the letter, and they freaked out. No, they didn't freak out. They laughed at me. They flat out laughed in my face. My dad's breaking in tears laughing over that he reads the letter. So after that, I asked for my parents for some advice on how to handle the situation, because I'm only 14 years old. I don't know how to handle these situations. I can't straight up talk to a girl and say, I'm breaking up with you. I couldn't do it. So they told me what to say, and, you know, I eventually spoke with her on the phone, face-to-face and everything, and then she did eventually break out in tears, and then, you know, we both went our separate ways for a little bit. But, you know, a few days down the road, when I turned 19 and she was like 18 or whatever, she eventually hit me up again. You know, I found someone else, you know, later on in, you know, throughout my teenage years, and she was still single at the time. But you know, we still text each other now that she's a little more, you know, mature. And I pray she is not watching this video, because she knows about my YouTube channel. She's probably watching this video right now, laughing her butt off. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. It's a pretty funny story, and I used to get collapsed by this FaZe wannabe again. But anyways, guys, it's your boy AK signing out. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe if you guys enjoyed this, and it's your boy AK signing out. Peace.